Okay, gonna call the meeting for the Beta Board of Directors, June the 29th, 2023 to order. Let's have a pledge of allegiance. We didn't have one.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, well, let's see who's here and who isn't. So Brittany, if you would do a roll call, please.
Richard Cochran,
Present.
John Somavilla,
Here.
Heather Harris Brady. Heather is absent. Jamie Kramer. Here. Joe Underwood,
Here.
Robert Fudge,
Here.
Brad Jewett. Brad Jewett is also absent.
Okay, so we do have a form. First, public comment. Does anybody have? And we could just let us know who you are and.
Justin Reed, 6'3", I can drive from Point Beach, our state of Michigan. I'm a rider of BATA. And I wanted to say that I've had good experience with the new app, the new link app. However, the Google Maps and the Transit app are not working for real time beta tracking. So there's still some issues there. I know you guys should be discussing the MPO today. I am very much in favor of the MPO going forward. I think that this ties into the County Road Commission as far as the May 22nd meeting goes. This has to do with the comment made by Joe Underwood about how there's too many agencies that are tied in with this. And I think that is something that should not be commented on. Unfortunately, the pool money for the areas are going away. So an MPO would kind of be catching of all of that and trying to work as a collaborative instead of just, saying that, well, what is Chart Trail? Oh, Beta's up in this corner. And I don't think that looks good. I think that that's kind of bias. So that is something that's, if you're on the board of Beta, you should be more leaning to support to local transit. And things are changing to where you can't just do a road, you have to do non-motorized and foot transit. That's what that. And a lot of times people don't think that not every bus drives a car. And that's where Beta comes in with the jobs that are in Traverse City and Grand Traverse County, because Beta is there to help people who are less fortunate and who have to go to their jobs. And they can't just say, well, Beta's not running, so I can't go to my job. And that means that eventually that taxpayer is going to move outside of Traverse County and you'll lose your taxpayer base on it. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mitchell Treadwell, 620 West 7th Street. I'm also a Beta rider and very grateful for real-time tracking, particularly on the Bay line, which is the bus that I use most frequently because it is convenient for me and it runs very often. But despite what it says in the brochure, it does not run at set times every 20 minutes. So real-time tracking is very helpful for allowing me to see, okay, there will be a bus that comes here in 5 minutes, and if I miss that, I might have to wait 40 minutes for the next bus. But it is very helpful in allowing me to avoid missing that bus as often as I did before. Also, as pertains to the MPO discussion, I am a city commissioner. And, Traverse City as a partner in the MPO discussion was, I feel, not as cooperative as perhaps we should have been at the last MPO meeting. But that's not necessarily reflective of, the city's goals and its willingness to participate in, regional transportational planning and, solutions involving all members of the area community.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The other? Okay, I would move to item number 5, approval of the agenda. Declaration of conflict of interest. So I have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I have support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So what was the declaration of conflict of interest?
It's just if anybody has a conflict of interest on an agenda item, they should
That's
declare
right,
it.
that's right, okay, that's good. Item 6, consent calendar. Purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with in one board motion without discussion. Any member of the board, staff, or the public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed, placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such request would be automatically respected. If an item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted in parentheses on the agenda is approved by a single board action adopting the consent calendar. Consideration of approving the following minutes, the regular board meeting minutes of April 27th, 2023. Consideration of accepting the following reports, the finance oversight team notes of May 22nd, 2023 and June 12th, 2023. Governance committee meetings, minutes of June 12th, 2023, April and May finance reports. Board request tracker, no new items, correspondence, and that was from various. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Do I have support? Support.
Were there any items to be removed?
Were there any items to be removed? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Item moves. Kelly, on to you.
All righty. That came up quick, I guess. What page am I on?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Holy cow. There I am. Yeah, I don't know what page it is, but I found that report. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for making the trip up to Sutton's Bay with us. It's always good to be out in Leelanau County for a meeting, and it's a nice drive, even with the smoky, hazy skies.
Yeah.
We're gonna get right into the headquarters update here in just a second. I'm not gonna dwell on the written report, but I did want to just highlight a couple of things. One, the service changes that went into effect on Monday, June 26th, and we heard some of that in public comment on the improvement in the app of the link system. It is reportedly working much smoother than Transloc did. I spent a couple of hours on the bus yesterday with a link driver, and I have to say it was running really smoothly, very logically, which is what we want to see. The technology calculating things in a logical fashion and not sending drivers crisscrossing all over town. So that's really great to see. GMV on our fixed route system, providing that real-time bus tracking. The improvement to the rider experience is I'm not sure unless you're out there waiting at a bus stop, if you can appreciate how much that really improves the rider experience, the comfort level that it brings to be able to verify, did I miss the bus? Is the bus stuck? Is it coming? Am I at the right place? All of those things. It really makes using Beta a lot more viable. So some great improvements. And City Loop 7. So we rolled that out on Monday as well. That's our new sort of South Airport east-west route, and we rolled that out fare-free for the first few months as a promotional period, because every time we have a new route, it's a little bit of a slow start to get people adapting to it and remembering that it's available and changing their travel patterns, you know. So we've, in the first 3 days of its operation, we've transported 40 people, and I would say that's pretty good. That's pretty good for that route in the first 3 days. So I'm hopeful we'll continue to pick up ridership on Loop 7. Riders have been asking for it as a service to be returned, since we took 5 down, which is almost 2 years ago. Yeah, time flies. So it's changes is hard for everyone. It's, you know, staff and ridership alike. But I think all in all, we're managing through those changes, which are really improvements, pretty well. So that's good. We did hear some early feedback, as I indicated and included in the packet, some emails that had been sent to the Beta board email. I responded as the agent of the board. We also did evaluate the evening service hours and determined that it probably was just best to continue to mimic our existing service hours. And I say that because we really were not trying to leave people without a way to get home. And all of the people that reached out to us were using Beta to get to places of employment. And when we looked at alternatives to providing service, like maybe subcontracting with a cab company, or we've previously subcontracted with Lyft, those options are really just not there right now. So whether you're an individual or an agency like Beta wanting to find a cab between the hours of 9 and 11 p.m., really difficult to do. So in the end, we thought we could make some service adjustments by shifting some hours, not necessarily adding resources, but just shifting those resources to cover that extra hour in the evening. So we decided to do that. What else? Cherry Festival starts Saturday, Friday, really. Open ramp transportation on Friday evening. So we're ready. As I wrote in my note, we provide 165 hours of additional service for the Cherry Festival. That number used to be, before we had the Bayline, just to put this in perspective, it used to be 500 hours of service, and that would all come at the expense of overtime and staff burnout. And fortunately now with the Bayline in place, we're able to utilize that service and existing scheduled drivers for the bulk of that. So it's only 165 additional hours, and our staff really steps up for Cherry Festival. They volunteer for all of those shifts, and some are voluntarily working 13 days in a row. I mean, that's a lot of hours. It's a lot of commitment, and they do it willingly, you know, and they're really great team players. And the same with our dispatch staff. I mean, the way they step up for overtime is really incredible. So, we've got
Are we doing the shuttles like we did before from like Meyer?
Yep. So we're using the Bayline, which has the park and ride at Woodland Creek and Meyer, and then additionally for Cherry Festival, we live in the Cherry Lot at NMC, and that bus runs about every 20 minutes. And then we extend the hours later into the evening to cover the concerts and the fireworks on those nights.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, and then we also run a horticulture run that goes throughout Monday through Friday, midday out to the MSU Horticulture Center, the orchard tour, and then the open ramp that I started with, the Friday night park and ride shuttle over to the open ramp event. So looking forward to taking my boys to that tomorrow night. I saw that when I was on the Link bus, yesterday, I saw the Thunderbirds all lined up on the tarmac out there as we dropped a person off that, works out at the tower. So it's pretty cool. What else? Late breaking news on the state budget this morning, last night, this morning, whichever way you want to look at it. I guess it depends how many hours of the day you listen to the news. But they did agree on a budget that is on the governor's desk for signing. And that budget includes an increase of $60 million to the transit local bus operating numbers. So that's a 45 of that 60 is one-time money, and the 15 is a continually growing LBI number, so that they've committed to. So that's good. That'll bring us back up. Our LBO these last few years has been about 34%. That's our state operating reimbursement amount. With this $60 million increase, that's shared statewide, so it's a little bit of a crystal ball kind of stab in the dark, but they're thinking that will bring that up between 35 to 40% on the reimbursement level from the state. So that'll be good. And I think with that, I'm just gonna, I did just want to just highlight the lawsuit that was pending for the last couple of years, or 3 years. I don't know, it's been going on for so long that it's been a long time. A year ago, we had our hearing with the prosecutor, and we just finally have received the outcome of that. And that was ruled in our favor. So that dismissal was upheld and in support of BATA's actions. So that closes that out. I just want to report that out. And with that, I'm gonna invite Jerry up to give all the exciting updates on the new facility.
My readers.
Oh, okay.
Not that I want to miss you.
Right, yeah, handout. T-shirt.
I have one, yeah. I can share mine with Richard too.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Jerry.
Got a lot of activity on the site over the last month or two. Sure, plenty of you have been driven by.
Yeah.
Improvements going on.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Team Elmer's done a great job. Including the Christmas staff and a few of the other stuff. I'll go through a quick update. So I did a milestone summary for you. Broke it up into site, the headquarters, the transfer station, and the TC housing component. And then behind it, there's some updates we get from Chrisman every week. So they've issued 3 updates, and at the bottom right, you'll see shows the date in which they issued it. Regarding the site, we've completed all the public sewer. We're about 80% done with the public water. That'll be 100% completed by the end of next week. And then the on-site storm, that includes the catch basins, all the storm lines, the detention ponds. That'll be 100% complete at the end of next week. We have walked the site a number of times during construction. We have a company, an independent third-party agency called Soils and Structures. They come out, they test the bearing capacity, they test the concrete, they take the samples, they break the samples, make sure that we have the appropriate PSI for the concrete that was specified. So it's a technical group of people that obviously are making sure that Chrisman is being honest, that the suppliers are being honest, subcontractors are being honest. And it's important to have all of that in place. A lot of the building departments ask for copies of those independent third-party inspections as part of the requirements during inspection. So they send it to them, they send it to us, and then obviously they get a copy. And there have been a few areas where they hit some bad soils. So we obviously have the Team Elmer's or the Chrisman company remove any of those bad soils and replace them with the appropriate sand fill with compaction. The detention ponds have been completed. They actually worked well. We had that heavy rain on Sunday, 3 inches of rainfall. They were able to work on Monday. So that says a lot for the site.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and we found a few areas where it's expected until you get all the stone down or you get your concrete or your pavement done, that you're gonna have a few erosion areas. And we actually had a visit by Eagle just to make sure that the east side of the site wasn't receiving any sedimentation. They were very pleased with what they saw out there. There was also someone from the county soil erosion control division, and they're just to the north of our site. So you see them every day. We get the road commission to the south. They come by the site every day, and obviously the county inspectors are also driving by the site every day when they go to work and come back. So we got a lot of eyes looking at the site. They're doing a great job. It's worked well up to this point. We're ahead of schedule on the site work. We're actually going to look to try to put the base coat of asphalt down towards the late August instead of waiting until next spring. That's what we're doing with regard to the site improvements, and it helps because then that's less dirt, mud, and everything else that happens in the fall, the rainfalls. That'll be controlled by having the asphalt base coat down. And obviously it's not unusual during construction to try to get the asphalt base down. You know, there might be some smaller areas that are experiencing some damage as a result. Maybe that's a good way to determine if there is any soft spots. And they'll replace those if they do encounter it. For the operations headquarters, we're about 75% done with the spread footings. They'll have those completed by next Monday. The CMU block, we were able to pull that ahead of schedule. That's the masonry block. Anything that was below what I call the finished floor elevation, they were able to complete, and then they went actually a little bit above it. The big milestone date here is the precast wall panels. Those are going to be arriving on July 10th. Those will be 100% done by the end of July. You'll see this building enclosed by the end of July on the outside walls. Everybody will expect that you'll be open for business 2 months later. Obviously, there's a lot of work that happens, but you understand when you use precast panels, that it literally looks like it's finished after they're installed. Just don't let anybody know it's not going to be. But then they'll do backfill to follow against the panels. We'll start then the steel construction, and that's scheduled for July 31st. We'll have the metal deck follow. The goal is to get the entire facility enclosed before the 1st of December. That makes for a good condition then to do all that work inside during the winter time and not hold up. So right now, steel's on schedule. All of the other trades are on board. Contracts have been issued. So if everything goes as expected, the facilities will be completed by mid-July next year, the operations center. Then we'll have some furniture after that, and then we got to schedule the move. So the only concerns we have that we're watching are there's some main distribution panels, electrical gear, some of that we're watching closely. We've got it scheduled for May. We'd like to move that up a little bit, May of next year. That's a long lead. And we'll be going out to bid on furniture, IT related, and some of the other associated non-Christmas items. The transfer station, most of that's been balanced out. It's a small building over there on that site. We'll start the footings in mid-September. That building will be completed by November. It's not a very large one. And then all the site-related work, we'll wait till spring to complete there. So that facility will be finished by the end of May the next year. A component to that is because TC Housing will start their 2 apartments. They're using that drive that we're providing for there. And we want to make sure that they start that work in May because that's tied to us getting an occupancy for the headquarters. That was one of the conditions of approval.
We'll be able to start using the transfer center as soon as it's done though.
Correct. I did confirm with I was at a meeting last week with the Traverse City Housing Commission. Chuck Korn was at that meeting. He did validate that we would not have to be tied to the Traverse City Housing for occupancy of the transfer station. It was on the operations center. So you'll be able to see from the different dates behind that. I'll answer any questions you might have.
I'd be happy to forward these weekly updates to all of you if you are interested, especially over this next stretch between now and our next board meeting. There's going to be a lot of site changes happening, so
That'd be interesting.
yeah, we'll do that.
So they issue them on Fridays
Mhm.
for the week's worth.
Yeah.
Did I do that good of a job?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not taking all the credit. It's a good team we have. out there. Yeah. And I do gotta give a lot of credit to Team Elmer's.
Yeah.
They knocked it out of the park. And they like working on the larger sites. For them, it just, with that heavy equipment, it works much better where they can just fall in line. It amazes me every day I go out there and I see, you know, how much more work has been completed. You can see with those big pieces of equipment, how fast it moves.
We had our first on-site meeting out there yesterday.
Oh,
Oh,
You could feel the trailer shake as those
Yeah.
big pieces go by.
That's when you know it's real. You're not on a Zoom meeting anymore.
No, it is strange. We're so accustomed to doing Zoom meetings and
Yeah.
suddenly you meet face to face and it's kind of weird.
like, you're the same person I've been talking.
You're right.
to. Our employees are so excited.
Yeah.
This is just,
Yeah, and you can get a grasp with the contours on, especially that southwest corner, the trees that remain, and then it steps down in that slope to the detention ponds. The background of the trees, it really makes a site compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really gonna be beautiful.
good job.
Okay. Well, thanks, everyone.
Okay.
there we go.
Take care. See you.
Okay, and Chris, we have your monthly hiring report.
Yes.
Yes.
And Kelly, I have to say too, and to follow up what Kelly said about our employees jumping on this Cherry Festival, they take such pride in providing the services, you know, they're not getting like the lining or things like that that you might expect when overtime hits in, and they've just been great in looking, you know, volunteering for the shifts, and they want to make us look good to the community and the visitors that are here. So and just to validate that, we just recently needed some more hours from dispatch. And Adam just put out a little thing, here's a few different shifts that are available, if anyone can work any of these hours. Literally, and this was like 6 o'clock at night, by 9 o'clock at night, we had 5 people already. I'll take this, I can take a half day, I can't do a whole day, I can come in 2 hours earlier. They all work together, it was so exciting to see the pride that they take and wanting to cover Cherry Festival and be really good, so. Anyway, so that's going good. To be at our service level for the summer, we still need 9 drivers. We have 3 drivers currently in training, but they will not be completed till July 17th. You know, so but then they'll jump into it on July 17th. And then our July class, we already have 4 drivers, new people gonna start July, and for various reasons, they couldn't start in June. So, but we have 4 that are starting July. Let's see, then they'll be available at the end of August, et cetera, et cetera. And then I believe next week I have 4 interviews already, 3 on Monday and 1 on Wednesday. So we are getting people in, and we'll keep working on it, of course. Just looking back, so we started, I think we've increased our retention rate from 61% to 68%, and our hiring rate that was running about 2.25 new employees per month to 2.83 employees per month. So that's steadily going up as well. I'd like to see it be a little bit higher. We're going to meet just to see, we're losing some people in the first week or 2. You know, when they come to training, they find it's not their cup of tea or for many different reasons. And we're going to analyze next week just what are the reasons that, you know, drug test or several medicals. So we'll keep working with operations team and HR to keep recruiting and keep working so we get our services back.
I had a good suggestion from a driver on that issue yesterday too, so I'll share that with you after the meeting.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Kelly.
Mhm.
Any questions?
I don't think so. Chairperson's report. The only thing I got to say is we're still working on resolving the issue between the Board of Commissioners and the Beta Board. And hopefully by August 10th,
Mhm.
we'll have resolved it one way or another.
Yeah.
And, is that the
Our
latter?
next board meeting date. That's the significance of that date.
Okay, that's why, okay. And all I can say is there's been a significant amount of time, resources, and money put into this that probably shouldn't have. So anyway, that's all I've got to say. Now we can go to, the committee reports and finance oversight committee, which I'm back up again. Look at that. All this. We met a couple of times. The first meeting was basically to go over hiring the $10,000 bonus program, how that was going along, and also to discuss basically our wage structure and how that compared to others in the area. So the change comes in the 2024. So the thing was just. It's we get into it. I'll get to people. That work is and then also the doing because
Yeah. And 2620 and so they didn't withdraw. So this problem that's
It's probably was some resident and
great. So it wasn't feel sense. It's fun.
kind of forgot it. I mean, you're saying it's just like all of a sudden it's a gate open.
Yeah. And stuff. Else. So.
We do that's the proposals for the so they sold everyone because they had the CIMM designation, which is part of what we requested RFQ. So we just they're even and a few things. So it's nice to have that environment. So, I'm in here and believe in the saying of. Or something like that, so. So, I'm on Sunday.
And we, since the entities that we put in the center that's traditionally TFS, for their questions, and then our Congress in Grand Harrisville, this again, but under tax bill, so election for the year, look at the big, tomorrow versus, the tax pay, and they'll, on their summer tax bills. Okay, do we have a motion or anything on the motion? So, that's just, sorry. Discussion.
John Cameron.
Yes.
David Compton.
Yes.
It's not nice.
Chris.
Questions, happy to answer those.
A motion to advise. To call it and stop it. Is. Remains,
Yes, as Brian was, our conference that was, this was a solution and well, we was not a permanent solution that's needed. That's this type of time, for there was mechanics and just because we had to do an analysis of some of the wage comparisons of other drivers, mechanics and dispatchers in the area. And then put a recommendation together the two thought to bring to Houston, we're kind of on and a time on the place of that and be effective so that this could end. So October 1st. So maybe those will be on the same agenda, it's just so that because we can't. I think it'd be really helpful just to get the version on this. It's got around, possibly, you know, but we could also listen to the contract for this time, the conversations with them on it, so. Just, you know, the schedule, we could possibly look at the contract, which is considered exploitation. So the kind of. Yeah.
So for next one, I guess we can focus next extension until 10/1.
Yeah.
So do we have a motion to extend the $10,000 incentive to the first. That's what.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
The recommendation, actually, we talked about this at finance oversight team meeting.
Companies that do analysis. On the 30 minutes and we could not a little bit and the analysis. It's I didn't know, so we're going to come over to, it's, so it's all things. And it's, currently. I don't have any questions about that. This meeting. Okay.
The maximum by about 6 and a little over 6.5%. So that's what's.
Provided for 50%. Somebody is this 35%. So, yes, the people. So this isn't to change, it's changing.
Change in
Yeah.
salary or things like that.
Consistent with the other bands.
So the motion to the consultation of the new band, so it's the executive director.
So moved.
Motion carries.
Years. Organization. Distribution. So. Region, so. Turn things out. Source. And it's not it. To do.
Dollars, that's. It's the grant, right, is two.
It's. I think that comes from 5307, so. So.
So. This could be cost, maybe, whatever it is. Oh, okay. That's actually. Firefighters, they had two commissions and then all of these. So.
Yeah. And they don't.
Okay. Staying due to status concerns of possible. That's what I'm saying, but I don't think you have four somewhere. Pretty sure about the clearing that's in that. What's this agent switch from your 2 points into your better city anyway that are kind of the ones that everybody else has an interest within that area. Yes. There's a 5-month thing there. Okay. Okay. It's nothing to approve the set of 14 people. Okay. So. I can do it included. Okay. That should be kind of silly, I guess.
I think. It's not that. It makes sense.
This should be to.
I'm supposed to approve the intergovernmental agreement as presented.
Okay, and so this, I think, since Joe wants to say.
Is there some? Yes.
Yes.
It has 0 numbers. One shots.
On the record. Yeah. So it's anything in 50 or.
Especially that I was trying to have an gifts as well, and that is proper, and I appreciate that, I really do. And I think that's that encompasses a lot of the a lot of the who pay taxes, and it keeps everyone. So that must tell you that the voters and the people who pay taxes, the service, and I think with the county board of commissioners in discussion with the senators who have, the saying that I live, that this taxpayers and that's the case. Then the losses every single time. I think that's the issue. I think it comes over to control and people who the county don't have high paying jobs, so they can't afford the cost, so they need to pay transit to get more impact. Thank you. There.
It's also part of.